Hi, Dad. Do you have rules for your teenage daughter's use of technology? Well, technology is a big deal in her life. Phones and cell phones and texting, and we've been talking about that conversation. But the reality is, if you don't have rules set up, you're not going to be able to enforce them. So, if you're going to get ahead of this game, you have to set the rules beforehand rather than later. So that is having a conversation and setting up and saying in a meaningful way and way she understands, not off the cuff, sitting down, we're going to talk about the rules of computer use. Now, a lot of people will say, well, computer use, you have it in an open space instead of in their room. A lot of places that's not even possible. There's like 3 or 4 computers running around everyone's household. And so the thing is that you're going to have to, from my perspective, figure out what your computer life, your cyber life is, to be able to help to communicate to your children, especially your daughter, in terms of her cyber technology life. And so being involved in it and setting rules and saying, look, this is appropriate and it's not appropriate. And as we said before, having the ability to say, look, I am paying for this stuff and I have a right to be part of it, whether you like it or not, whether you want to or not. And I'm not trying to be the hard guy. I'm really trying to protect you. And so the situation here is by being able to be involved in your daughter's cyber life instead of her thinking like, oh, Dad just doesn't know what's going on. And maybe you don't. But again, back to our question, which is ask a question. It's like, are you having problems with this? Do you have cyberbullying? What are the problems? Can you come to me and can you talk? To act like somehow the computer is off limits, it's like a diary. I don't think it is. There's so much going on. Yes, there is privacy, but it's a lot different. It's just kind of like information going all the time. And so I think you need to be a part of it, Dad. And that means setting rules before rather than later. If you have to try saying later, it's just like, well, I told you that couldn't have a computer on in your room. Well, we could have discussed it beforehand, but now we have to drag it out of there, and oh, Dad, you're so dumb, and taking the cell phone away. And it's just so much easier to be involved and be in your daughter's technology life. You can do this, Dad. Make sure you set a time and have some rules. I'd bring in the whole family. I'd bring Mom in on this and say, what do you think I should do? What are other kids doing and why? And of course, they're going to tell you, well, if some kid runs off the cliff, you know the old story. Anyway, the deal is, you're the dad. You need to set the rules. You need to set them beforehand, so if you need them, they're in place. Thanks for stopping by.